Hello travelers, Boardman21 here, and today's build is the BeastMaster, and we'll be stacking aspect of the boar, aspect of the shark, aspect of the lynx, and aspect of the viper. We'll be doing all four of them, stacking them with max duration, but it's really aspect of the shark that's going to take over for us because it works for us and our minions, or in this case companions. We will be running 6 wolves. Basically, we're just trying to get as much attack speed as possible. The more attack speed you get, the more stacks of aspect of the shark that you can stack, which equates to more attack speed, which then means you get more stacks, and basically it just keeps going and going and going until whatever it is you're attacking dies, and then you restart. And the way it works is you're going to get a 25% chance to get a stack of aspect of the shark every time you hit a rare or a boss. You also have a 25% chance whenever you kill an enemy. So against bosses, like any of them in the Monolith of Fate, that's where you're going to get the most stacks, and you're just going to wipe through mobs. We went through Lagon really quick. We got rid of the God Hunter before he even phased. We went through all the other bosses extremely quick. You can face tank, you and your companions can face tank Lagon's beam, the Emperor's hits. You can face tank everything. You're very, very tanky, and that's mostly because you have a lot of leech. Your companions and you will be critting thanks to aspect of the lynx a percentage of all your crit damage, and you'll be critting basically 100%. The reason you'll have close to 100% is because of Howl, is because of Frenzy Totem, and when you're tethered, and your companions have base critical strike chance on top of added thanks to a rare affix on the chest, and their Howl gives them critical strike chance. Aspect of the lynx gives critical strike chance and critical strike multiplier, so a lot of benefits. It all synergizes together, and what it comes out with is an 800% plus attack speed build that can get up to 2000% melee damage because of aspect of the shark. So they probably might limit the amount of caps you can have with it in the future. I don't know, but this is the first time that I've felt super tanky for both me and my companions in any fight. Usually, the Beastmaster I consider weak because either you're dying or either the companions are dying. Usually you build into one or the other, but this allows you not only to be super tanky for you and them, but you're also going to be doing massive DPS, and this is really just thanks to the fact that we can dual wield and have higher attack speed and more flat damage so that we can kill things quick and just be able to stack up that attack speed to such an insane amount. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the skills. For skills, we're running Swipe, Summon Frenzy Totem, Entangling Roots, Summon Wolf, and Fury Leap. For Swipe, this is going to be our main DPS skill. This is what we'll be attacking with, and the reason we went with Swipe is, one, your other options was Serpent Strike, which would require you to wear a polearm, and we're not doing that since we're dual wielding. And you could use Tempest Strike, but it doesn't scale with attack speed, so that's not going to be beneficial for what we're trying to do. So we went with Swipe, and Swipe's not a bad skill at all, especially since it even comes with additional attack speed, which is synergizing really well with what we want. So we put 4 points into aspect of the Panther, which will allow you for each hit that you do to gain a stack of the Panther, and you can have up to 8 stacks. You get global damage per stack. Here you have up to 8 stacks, which gives you up to 80% more damage. We have 1 point in Wild Calling, so that we have a 15% chance on any hit that we do to summon 3 Spirit Wolves, and when I say any hit, it's any hit with Swipe. The Spirit Wolves will do the same damage. They scale off your melee damage, so whatever damage you're doing, they will do, so you're basically getting a double hit whenever this procs. 1 point in Feline Hunter for that global attack speed. 1 point in Maul for 20% more global melee damage. 3 points in Ambush for some more crit chance. 4 points in Apex Predator for more crit multiplier. 2 points in Way of the Hunt for some hit damage, 4 points in Wagarian Reach for 20% more hit damage and 100% increase to area. And then for Summon Frenzy Totem, we're using this to increase our damage, increase our crit chance, increase our companions' melee damage that they do, and to give Frenzy to all so that all of us have the greatest amount of attack speed that we can get. We have 5 points in Grounded, so that we have 25 additional global melee physical damage. 1 point in Dig In, so that we're tethered to the Frenzy, and while we're tethered, we have 100% increased damage. 5 points in Dig Deep gives you 250% more critical strike chance while you're tethered. 4 points in Rapidity gives you 40% increased effect of Frenzy. Frenzy gives you 20% attack speed, so 40% more of that will put you at 28% attack speed. And then you also get, what is it? 1% more frenzy effect per point of attunement. We're not really stacking any attunement on this, so you don't really get any added effect for that. But you are getting almost 30% additional attack speed just for having the frenzy totem up. 4 points in bestial frenzy, so that your companions have 16 more melee physical damage, and 1 point in lead the pack, so that every time a wolf howls, you have 50% more critical strike chance for you and the wolves. For Entangling Roots, we're using this to increase our damage, has a bit of healing, and really going to boost the attack speed and poison damage of your wolves. We have 5 points in Nourish so that we get healed for 50 health per second while we're in the patch. 3 points in Imbued Sap so that we have 90% increased damage for both us and the wolves. 3 points in Grove Master for 90% increased area. 5 points in Venomous Pack so that our wolves have 150% chance to poison on hit. 3 points in Frenzy Roots so that they have 36% increased move and attack speed, and 1 point in Memories of Spring so when Entangling Roots disappears, they keep the buffs for 3 more seconds. For Summon Wolf, them all together probably deal more damage than we do by ourselves with Swipe, but together between them and us, we just melt through anything. We have them set up to have the maximum amount of attack speed to get all of our wolves through the skill tree because we're not going to wear the amulet, and to get +1 maximum companion. They also have Ice Bite and a good chance to howl. We really want the howl as much as possible because that attack speed benefits us, so that we can get more stacks of Aspect of the Shark, which benefits us and them. We have 5 points in On the Hunt for 50% more move speed and attack speed, 1 point in Howl of the Might for more damage, 1 point in Safety and Numbers so that we can now summon up to our companion limit, 2 points in Savage Hunters for 30% more damage, 1 point for the Howl on kill chance so that they have a 10% chance whenever they get a kill that they can proc Howl. This does not cost the mana or put it on cooldown, so you can still use it manually. 2 points to increase that kill chance from 10% to 14%. This also gives anybody who's affected by Howl, which includes you, 100% more melee damage. 3 points in Tundra Stalkers for some cold damage for them. 1 point in Winterborn for some chill chance. 1 point in Pack Hunters for that +1 maximum companion. And 3 points in Frozen Fangs so that they have a 30% chance on every attack to do Ice Bite, which has 100% more area, more damage, and is converted to cold damage, which benefits from the +6 added cold damage that you gave it. And then for Fury Leap, you can go with whatever skill you want as the 5th one, it doesn't really matter. We went with Fury Leap because it's a movement skill and it helps us move around and go faster through the monos. It also gives us attack speed and a damage buff, and it can bring all of your companions with you, which makes it really nice if they're wandering off or all over the place, you can get them all in one place again. We have 7 points in Warrior's Entrance, so that after you leap, you have 105% increased global damage for 3 seconds. We have 3 points in Rage, so that we have 30% more attack speed. 1 point in Pack Leader, so that all of our wolves will jump with us. 5 points in Ambush Predators, so that any enemies we hit when we leap will deal 175% more damage against them. 2 points in Crater for a larger landing area, and 1 point in Savage Impact, so that we have 12% more hit damage. For passives, we have 20 points in the base Primalist class, with 5 points in Primal Strength, 1 point in Harmony of Blades, 4 points in Primal Medicine, and 6 points in Survival of the Pack, with the last 4 points in Tempest Bond. 10 points in the Druid, all 10 points in Barkskin for that 100 more health and 100 more armor. 0 points in the Shaman, and 81 points in the Beastmaster, our Mastered class. We have 4 points in Ursane Strength, so that we take a little less damage from nearby enemies. 1 point in Savagery for some more increased melee damage for us and our companions. 6 points in Lambery Teeth, so that we leech a percentage of melee damage that we do. 1 point in ambush so that we can now proc Aspect of the Shark every 5 seconds with our next attack. Aspect of the Shark is a buff that gives us 50% more melee attack and 10% more attack speed. So what that means is you can get 1 stack of this just from this point. Every 5 seconds for 3 seconds, you'll have more damage, melee damage, and more attack speed. And up above, we're going to be able to stack this and increase its effect and increase its duration, which is going to allow us to get a lot more than what it says, especially per stack. We have 4 points in Boarheart so that whenever we take a melee hit, there's a chance that we will have Aspect of the Boar, which reduces the damage we take by 15%. It has a 2-second cooldown, so it's not every hit, but it has a longer duration than a 2-second cooldown, so you can get 100% uptime on it. We have 5 points in Porcine Constitution to increase that 15% DR to 30% DR, and you get some more health regeneration. 2 points in Primal Strength so that there's a chance to proc it when you do a melee hit on the enemy. Now you don't have to wait till you actually get hit. 2 points in Axe and Claw for some more physical damage, flat for us and our minions. 1 point in Rending Maul for Aspect of the Shark to have some armor shred as well. And 4 points in Hunters of the Deep to increase the duration by 60%, so now from 3 seconds, it now lasts 4.5 seconds or just over that, so you're almost at 5-second duration. Now for the top half of the skill tree, we get a little bit more crazy with Aspect of the Shark. So Aspect of the Shark now has a chance to proc, a 25% chance to proc on kill, and with 1 point in Dragon Slayer, it now has a 25% chance to also proc to give you another stack whenever you hit a rare or a boss. And this is how we get so many stacks when we're going up against bosses and rares. Now, because of the fact that you have this, that means that you want to stack it. Otherwise, you can only have 1 stack at this point, and so being able to proc it this much doesn't really matter. But we put 8 points in Ocean Maul so that it now has 120% increased effect and 120% more duration. And with 1 point in Feeding Frenzy, it now lets it stack, but it reduces the effect by 60%. Now, this is a multiplicative less that's in there, so if you take 60% off of the original 50% and 10%, that puts you at only doing 22% melee attack and only 4% increased attack speed. But then if you multiply that by the 120% increased effect that you have, it puts you back up to that 10 area so that you get the 50% melee damage and 10% attack. And it might even be a little bit more than that because we actually get like 11 or 12% attack speed per one that we proc. And then we also get a lot more than 50% melee damage every time we proc it. It's closer to like 60 to 70%. So the math of the multi going up and down may be a little off, but overall you're going to get a load of melee attack and a load of melee damage per stack that you have of this, and you can get a lot of stacks. I've seen it go as high as 50-60 stacks fighting the Emperor, and we got well over 800% attack speed and well over 2500% melee damage, which means you start hitting and critting for a massive amount of damage and you're leeching it, and it's huge. We have 10 points in Primal Aspects to increase all those durations by 100%, so this allows you to get more stacks. 4 points in Cry of the Lynx so that you have more critical strike chance, and while this is active you have 100% critical strike chance and 100% increased stun chance just from the buff itself. 6 points in Serrated Claws means that you now have 60% more critical strike multiplier, and whenever you have Lynx active you have another 60% multiplier, so 120% increased critical strike multiplier while the Lynx is active. And then 5 points in Critical Bite so that you leech 15% of all your crit damage. 1 point in Force of Nature to increase your maximum companion by 1, and 10 points in Viper Fangs to give you 50% more melee attack speed, and you have a 30% chance to get Aspect of the Viper on hit, which then gives a 100% increased chance to poison on hit and 100% increased damage over time, which is huge. This also gives your companions 50% melee attack speed, so everyone is going to be attacking super fast. For items and idols, the idol that you want is increase aspect of the lynx and increase aspect of the shark effect. This really helps you stack more of the attack speed and melee damage you get out of aspect of the shark. And then the lynx is going to give you more critical strike chance and more critical strike multiplier, so your damage is definitely going to skyrocket when you have that active versus not having it active. We're wearing two Decicide swords that have melee attack speed, critical strike chance, poison on hit, and increased minion damage. We have the same stats on both of them. We'll be stacking poison damage along with our wolves, which does a lot of damage, and we also have a lot of hit damage as well. So we can really rattle down things quickly like trash mobs because we have some decent hit damage. And then for things like the Emperor or other bosses that have a lot of life, not only do we have great hit damage to really start in on them, but we can also start stacking poison, and by the time we get to that halfway point, their life really starts to take the bigger chunks. We are wearing the shamanic garb for our chest. We have strength, vitality, added minion melee crit chance, and minion critical strike multiplier. For Arter's legacy, so that we can have that +1 maximum companion, and this comes with more melee attack speed. For our amulet, we have set fizz, set necrotic, health, and armor. We are wearing a jade amulet. You can wear a death rattle instead if you'd like, because that critical strike multiplier for the minions is huge and will almost double their damage. For our belt, we have a bronze belt with set fizz, set necrotic, hybrid, and increased health. For our rings, we have turquoise rings to help boost the minions. We have set necrotic, vitality, elemental resist, and health on the left. We have set fizz, vitality, elemental resist, and health on the right. We have a Radiant Crest for some more critical strike multiplier. We also have increased minion health, minion dodge, minion damage, and elemental resist on it. For our boots, we have set fizz, set necrotic, elemental resist, and movement speed. And for our gloves, we're wearing the soul embraces for a little bit more critical strike chance. We have minion health, melee attack speed, minion damage, and hybrid health on it. For our character sheet, we are capped on all resistances. We have 27% armor and we have 1% dodge. Now remember, we do benefit from some other damage reduction. We'll have aspect of the board all times for 30% more damage reduction, so that's definitely helpful. Just standing in place, not doing anything, no frenzy totem, no howl, no entangling roots, nothing going on. We have 198% melee attack speed, which is huge for just standing in place. We have 281% critical strike multiplier. Remember, swipe has another 100% inside of it. Also remember, swipe has more attack speed. When you leap, you have more attack speed. Frenzy totem gives you more attack speed, and howl will give you more attack speed. So you're definitely going to be well above 200 before you even get any aspects of the shark. For our minion stats, we have 476% minion health. Some of that does come from a blessing. And we have 230% minion critical strike multiplier. The minion critical strike chance is not reflected from the percentage that we have on the chest because that's melee and not global. And we have 248 minion dodge to keep them alive. And their damages sit for minion melee damage at 466%. And then everything else sits at 379%. Alright, let's go ahead and go through the skill rotation. Alright, for the skill rotation, I like to put Frenzy Totem, Howl, both on autocast, so that I don't have to worry about it. And then I just swipe and leap wherever I need to go, and occasionally I'll throw down Entangling Roots whenever my life, or I notice if my companion's life is starting to get low for some reason, and then we just attack. And you can see that even without us doing any aspect of the shark, the attack speed is just crazy. Remember, they only have a 30% chance to proc that ice bite, and you can see it's just procking like absolute crazy because of how fast the attack speed is. Let's see if I can move them here so that you can see how fast they're attacking. So you can see they're getting a few attacks in per second. And then for us, if I go over here and I start attacking as well, you can see we don't even get through the animation, which is how we're attacking. Now, I can only have up to 2 stacks of aspect of the shark right now because the training dummy does not count as a boss or a rare, so we can't stack it like you can, out in the real world. But you can see that just with the 2 stacks here, and we can open this up, we have, for our damage stats, we're sitting at 430% melee damage, and we have 279% attack speed. Now, that's what we'll be starting with. Once you actually start stacking on the aspect of the shark, you get 15% melee attack speed for each one and almost 75% melee damage. So it's a huge boost, and it's going to climb really fast. And as you can see in the thumbnail, when we were going up against the Emperor, we had 40 stacks of it, and we had over 800% attack speed and over 2700% melee damage, which was allowing us to crit really hard. And we have super fast attack speed. I would say that at 800% attack speed, you're even faster than Flurry. Like, you can tell that with the animations just not even able to complete, it just gets absolutely ridiculous. Alright, let's go ahead and get into some more gameplay.